There's a miracle worker in Spain, and his name is Míchel Muñoz, or just Michel for short. You might call him a nobody, but Girona fans certainly call him Messiah, because he went into the deep abyss, dug them up, and gave them a seat amongst kings. Yes, they won't win La Liga this season, but the fact that they were top of the table halfway into the season in a league with Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Atletico Madrid is testament to the miracles Michel has worked at the club. And it is perhaps even more impressive that this little club from Catalonia only gained promotion back to La Liga in 2022. So they're doing all these exploits in only their second season back in the Spanish top flight. Super impressive. How have they been able to come this far this quickly? How has Michel been able to achieve so much with so little? Today, I'll be showing you how. We'll be breaking down the Spanish gaffer's unique tactics which have taken Spain by storm. I'll also be telling you what his secret ingredients are. Watch out for that. Michel took charge of Girona in the summer of 2021, and to be honest, fans didn't have much hope when he did. He was sacked at Huesca earlier in the year while they were bottom of La Liga, so he wasn't exactly the most sought-after coach around the block. But Girona apparently saw something in him and trusted him with their project. Good choice. This choice actually started to pay off very quickly. In his first season, Michel helped Girona gain promotion back to La Liga and took them to the round of 16 of the Copa del Rey. In their first season back in the top division, Michel led them to be a 10th place finish, and we're all real-time witnesses of the wonders he's working in Girona's second season back in the top flight. And when I said the man has been able to achieve so much with so little, I wasn't joking. Girona's entire squad has a cumulative market value of 223.3 million euros, according to Transfer MRKT. Meanwhile, they're competing with the likes of Real Madrid, whose squad has a cumulative market value of 1.04 billion euros, and Barcelona, whose squad has a cumulative market value of 863.5 million euros. Do you understand how insane this is? So, to a very large extent, Michel has had to depend a lot on imposing his ideas and tactics on his lean and largely inexperienced squad. Those tactics have both yielded results and produced beautiful football. Enough with the background, let's get to breaking it down. So Michel usually sets his team up to play in a 4-2-3-1 formation, which allows them to maintain possession with a double pivot. Usually Ivan Martin and Alex Garcia, sometimes Yango Herrera or even David Lopez. Sometimes they set up in a 4-1-4-1 formation, which helps them exploit spaces in the opposition's defense. These setups have helped Girona take control of games a lot. 28 games into the season, Girona can already boast an average possession of 57% per game, the fourth best in the league, behind only Barcelona, Las Palmas, and Real Madrid. That's super impressive for a team new to the top flight. And before we go too far, let me tell you what Michel's secret ingredient is. It's his wide play. Girona almost always terrorize their opponents on the wings, thanks to the combination of the fullbacks and their correspondent wingers. On the right, we usually see Jan Couto team up with Victor Zigankov, and on the left, we often see Daley Blind or Miguel Gutierrez combined with Savio. Typically, the wingers drift inside, leaving the fullbacks to hug the line, provide the width, and stretch the game. But from what we've seen in numerous games, the fullback and winger on each side are interchangeable. They both understand each other such that if one goes in, the other goes out almost immediately. That way, they always maintain width as well as presence in the opposition box. Now, from the wide channels, the players can decide to do any of two things. The first aim is usually to put a cross into the box for the center forward, typically the 6'2" Artem Dovbyk, and on fewer occasions, the 6'1" Cristian Stoiani. And this is why Dovbyk is currently the player with the most headed goals in La Liga this season. They could also try and get themselves in a 1v1 situation, and trust me, you do not want to get in a 1v1 with any of Girona's wingers. Savio is the best dribbler in La Liga this season, with 75 successful dribbles 28 games into the season. That's more dribbles completed than the likes of Vini, Isco, and Rodrigo, and 18 more than Nico Williams in second place. In fact, he's the fourth best dribbler in Europe this season. Defenders are certainly scared of the 19-year-old Brazilian. On top of that, he has proven to be very productive, producing 15 goal contributions in 28 La Liga appearances so far this season. So the kid is indeed a terror for defenders, and his second goal in the home game against Rayo in La Liga shows you exactly that. Running in from the wing, he found himself 1v1 with the defender, took him on, beat him and slotted the ball in the back of the net. Zikankov is obviously not as good at dribbling as Savio, but he has support on his wing from Jan Couto, who is also deadly in 1v1s. In fact, of all the defenders in La Liga, only Joao Cancelo has completed more dribbles than Jan Couto so far this season. For context, the defender has completed more dribbles than Antoine Griezmann, while also having the second most assists in the league. Super impressive. Some other times, the wide players keep the width but only act as a decoy for the fullback or wingback to exploit the spaces in between. And oftentimes, this has led to serious goal mouth actions. A perfect example is the second goal they scored against Barcelona in their first ever La Liga win against the neighboring rivals. Savio was running out wide and stretching the pitch, which allowed Miguel Gutierrez, the left back, to walk into Barcelona's defense and score a beautiful goal, giving Girona the lead on the night. But they don't always go 1v1 on the wings, especially against strong defenses. In some cases, Michel instructs them to go 3v2. You have the winger, the fullback, and the attacking winger overloading the wing and mounting pressure on the defenders on that flank. This often happens when the team is set up to play in a 4-1-4-1 formation. In this case, there's one pivot giving a cover to the defense, and then two attacking midfielders flanked by two wide players. So, when one of the attacking midfielders goes to support the winger and fullback, the midfield doesn't suffer. And this often leads to goals, just like we saw in the away game against Granada. Jan Couto scored the fourth goal of the game thanks to this overload on the right wing. We also saw something similar in the away game against Celta, which produced the only goal of the game. Yes, I strongly believe that Michel's secret ingredients are his wide players, but Artem Dovbyk has been super important to how they play. The Ukrainian is the club's top scorer, but even more importantly, 28 games into the league season, no player can boast more goal contributions in La Liga than Dovbyk. He is able to convert the chances the wide players create, and those goals have helped Girona secure a lot of points this season. Mind you, he's doing all of this while still overperforming his XG by 2.4. Crazy stuff. But Girona have not only been good going forward, they also know how to fall back and protect the box when the need arises. When they're out of possession, they maintain a 4-2-3-1 formation, with the double pivot lending assistance to the defenders. The wingers and attacking midfielders also often fall back to support the fullbacks in a low block. And of course, we cannot go without mentioning the goalkeeper Paulo Gazzaniga. He has been more than solid between the sticks for Girona. 28 games in, he has made the third most saves and kept the second most clean sheets in the league. His 6'5" height has also made him a terrifying presence for opposition strikers, and he has put it to good use by stopping attacks before they get very threatening. This is evidenced in a number of high claims he has been able to make this season. Right now, only 3 goalkeepers have made more high claims than Gazzaniga for the season. He has been one of the most dominant goalies in La Liga this campaign. Now that we have spoken all about these players and how good they've been, it's time to put some respect on Michel's name for not only imbibing his tactics into the team, but also for putting the team together. This man built this team brick by brick, and with a budget the size of a student's pocket money. The top players you see doing it week in, week out for Girona, a huge percentage of them were brought in by Michel. And guess what? The most expensive signing he has ever made was Artem Dovbyk, who he bought for 7.75 million euros. Imagine that! He also bought Zikankov, Yangel Herrera, Miguel Gutierrez, and Ivan Martin. Got the likes of Daley Blind, Alex Garcia, and Paulo Gazzaniga for free, and got guys like Savio, Jan Couto, Pablo Torre, and Eric Garcia on loan. I've called almost the entire first 11 there, so you can't even credit his success to the team he inherited. Michel built the team he wanted, shared his vision, taught them his style, and got them to start playing the kind of football he desires. Now that right there is a top manager and a master tactician with some very impressive talent ID. They might have fallen off the title race, but hey, who the hell thought they'd even be there in the first place? It's already an amazing and truly historic season for them, but can they end it on a high by securing Champions League qualification for the first time in their entire history? What do you think? Tell me in the comments. While you're there, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video.